All right, so we're back with our podcast. This is Quantum Flux. How you doing, Vlad?
I'm doing very well. It's good to be back on this wonderful podcast to discuss our favorite thing in the world, or at least it used to be, but now we still do talking about it, wrestling.
Yeah, well, it's good to see you. It's been a rough few days for me, to be honest, and not just because Cody lost, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that quick. Honestly, I wanted that to be the first thing we talk about, but um,
Yeah, let's get. You told me I don't want to make any, assumptions on what happened. You gave me. Let's just have you tell the whole story of everything that went on with you
yeah,
today.
I'm gonna do like Cornette and start the show off with one of my personal stories, like him at the post office, but. For those of you who don't know, I work at a gas station at a mobile, and I got held up today. If you could believe it, honestly, it was
This was in the middle of the day, right? Or no?
yeah, in broad daylight at four o'clock. First time it ever happened to me. I worked at the liquor store for 5 years. You remember? And at this
Yeah,
one
yeah.
for 1 year, and no one ever pulled a gun on me. And I didn't tell Vlad the story yet because I was like, let's do it on the show for the first time. So,
Yeah,
but
so I'm going to be hearing this for the first time as how it all went down as well, just as everyone else that hopefully will be watching this.
yeah, I mean, all right. So here's how it goes. I'll tell you the story as it happened. So a guy comes in with a mask. I won't say his race or anything like that, but he's wearing like a COVID mask, and so he comes. He comes. I should have known something was wrong. He just wanted to buy one Mentos. He's like, here, one Mentos, and he puts $5 on the table. And I'm like, okay, so I grab the $5. I'm about to go make change for him, and then he pulls his gun out and drops a bag on the table. Says, put everything in the bag. Textbook, I guess. So
Yeah.
so I'm looking at him for a second. It takes a second to like really know what's going on. Like, it's kind of shocking. Like, is this really happening? So it took me like split second, like 2 seconds to actually figure out like, oh, for real. So so I look at him. I look at this guy. Look, this was the worst robbery ever. Just so you know, this was the worst robber of all time. I look at this guy. I'm like, this guy. I'm like, nah. I'm not giving you nothing. And he goes, you want to lose your life today? I'm like, go ahead and do it. Let's see if you'll do it. I don't think he'll do it.
Damn, Kayhan. You never know, man. The guy could be crazy.
No, man, from the look of this
Oh.
guy, dude, this guy needs more practice. I'm cutting a promo on this guy that robbed me today. Okay,
More practice.
he was a whack
More
robber.
practice being this.
So look, so here's the kicker. Here's the funniest part. If you want to know, I did the
Yeah.
right thing to not give him his money. So you remember I told
Yeah.
you he dropped $5 on the table for a $2 gum? So once he realizes I'm not giving him nothing, he goes, "Well, can I at least get my change back?"
Is he for real?
So for a second I was like, "Nah, you're not getting your fucking change back." And then I was like, you know what? I should just get rid of this guy. So I fucking threw $3 at him, and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude." So that was it. But
Oh my God! You should have
I should have
not
what?
even given him the change. Not even given him his
Yes,
change.
yes, you know what? That's what I'm most upset about, to be honest. Not the fact that he tried to fucking jack me, but that he I didn't want to give him his change. The whole day I was like, man, I should have kept them $3, man. Yeah, 'cause he tripped me out, dude. Like honestly, when it's happening, my heart was like pumping
Of
pretty
course.
bad. And it was a little
But
trippy,
but
but
you felt pretty when you made the decision and you said, "Hey, like, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do nothing." Did you have a good sense of that, or was that just like you in your head you made the decision?
well,
Like, what was the thinking behind that? Basically, it's
well, look, it's unusual because all these years when everyone always says when you work at the liquor store. The old one I worked at didn't even have glass or anything, and they're like,
yeah,
"Well, what are you gonna do if someone tries to rob you? Aren't you afraid?" I'm like, and I go, like, "Hell nah, go ahead and try. Let's see what like I'm some kind of badass." But
yeah.
I mean, in the moment, it was. I guess I did have to make. I don't know, man. I really, I really didn't think he was gonna do it. I was, dude.
And just but just by the looks of him, if he was,
Maybe if
or
he,
what was it?
maybe if he was more like
He
for,
wasn't very intimidating or something. He
yeah,
wasn't
maybe if he
intimidating.
came out all crazy, like, you know what, I'm a fucking kid, and just let off like a warning shot somewhere, then yeah, okay, I'll be like, all right, this guy means business, like, but not this guy, dude. This guy, nah. I mean, I have a video of it too, but I'm not gonna put it up, but, but.
But you told your manager or
I
whoever. You
did,
told the lady, the owner.
and they called the cops. I wouldn't have called the cops. I don't know what he looks like. He was wearing a mask, so what am I supposed to say? He was a guy in a mask. But
So and they looked at the video.
yeah, well, you know,
So,
well,
but you don't think there's any chance they find this guy, probably, right?
I don't care. I don't really know, and I don't care. But
Right.
it's, I mean, I don't want to get into the nasty details of socio-political talk about what was wrong with this kid or whatever. But you know, we're
Well, yeah,
supposed.
you wouldn't know. I mean, you don't know what's wrong.
Yeah,
You
I
haven't.
know.
You could make some guesses, but
So he didn't shoot me, and I'll just let it go. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Although it was a scare.
he had the nerve to ask for his change. I can't
Yeah,
believe
man.
it. After he tried to rob the place, some people are
And
just crazy.
and honestly, it offends me a little bit because, dude, what do I look like the guy to come jack? Like I look the guy to come punk out, or what? I thought I looked like a scary dude here, man.
Well, I wouldn't think of it like that. I mean, I don't know if it had anything to do with that. I think he just maybe it was random. I mean, I don't know.
Well, whatever. That's that. That's the famous story. If you will remember
Well,
where you were when you heard the famous Kayhan finally got held up story. But
yes, it's
I
a
didn't think
story.
I didn't think anything would trump Cody Rhodes losing as a storyline for us to lead the show off with, and but something did happen. It's all's well that ends well, and that's that. But let's get to the meat of the matter because this is a wrestling podcast. I'm not gonna spend all
Yes, let's
day
get to
talking
it.
about our lives, but I'll just tell you right off the bat because I haven't talked to you since WrestleMania. You were there at night 2. You were at
I
my
was at night two.
you were at my place on night 1. You decided to go to
I
night
was at your
2,
place at night.
and
That's right.
so I haven't seen you or talked to you. And honestly, man, this was hard to take for me. I was pretty rattled. I was pretty depressed the next day when I woke up, because first of all, it was a 2-night WrestleMania, which was hard to navigate for me because I was trying to drink and have a good time, and I usually don't want to do that for 2 days. Come on, so I'm against the 2-night WrestleMania. I don't know what you
I
think
am
of that.
too. I completely agree.
It was too much. So in the end, I got pretty hammered. I went to work a little hungover. Plus the fact that Cody lost, which I'll, before I ask you what you think of it, I'll just tell you that
No, yeah, you go first.
Cody. Thank you, Vlad. Cody is basically he was the last hope. He was our hope because he's what we all aspire to be. When you look at him, I mean, come on. He's confident. He wears a suit everywhere he goes. He's professional. You
Yeah.
know, he was supposed to be the guy. Like if not Cody, then who? And if Cody couldn't do it, then what chance would someone like me have? Like come on. You know, like
Well,
this is
okay. I'll let you go. I'll let you
okay,
go.
speaking kayfabe wise, speaking just based on if the show was real, if wrestling was real, Cody losing
Yeah.
was devastating, and so and then we saw what happened on Raw afterwards. So he's not gonna get a rematch. Just we all know that already. We're taping this after Raw because I couldn't do it last
Mhm.
night. I was too tired from work and everything. So, but all right, Vlad, let's hear your expert analysis about what happened here. What
Well,
happened?
I think there was. Well, being there live, I think there was a level of some surprise amongst a lot of the fans that were there, especially towards the end. I mean, first of all, it was a great match. I think almost perfect. Like they did everything you could possibly do. I mean, well worked, just great from the bell, from the beginning
I'll agree with
on.
that.
I
It
mean,
was exciting.
It was exciting. Everything was professional. Everything was done so well. There was no. I mean, they did it all without having to do crazy spots or having to do anything like insane. There was some stuff at the end with with the Usos and Sami coming in, but like that was like a interference spot. It's fine. Um, but yeah, there was some level of, for sure. I think there was anticipation from a lot of the fans. Though I have to say that a lot of the fans there were rooting for Roman too. I mean, it was kind of split. Being live there, I would say it was kind of split. But there was some anticipation that like this is Cody's time, and it just makes sense booking wise that it's his time because where does he go forward, and who is left for Roman to do battle with if it's not going to be Cody winning it here.
Exactly.
And I think that's my biggest problem with it because I know they feel, I know Roman and maybe Triple H or whoever's discussed that they feel that there's more to the story to go, but boy, it really doesn't bode. It doesn't right now. It doesn't bode. I mean, maybe something amazing will happen, but it doesn't look that great for Cody. And right now in this moment in time, as this was his golden moment to win at WrestleMania. So even if he wins it later down the line at like a lesser pay-per-view, it won't have the same impact as winning it at WrestleMania because that is their Super Bowl show. That is their big show. That's where there was like 80,000 people that were watching, and this is, this is the opportunity to, and WrestleMania is always the opportunity to like shift storylines, right? That's when they do that. Like when a storyline usually comes to an end at WrestleMania. So that whole thing of, there's more to the bloodline story and all that stuff and stuff like that. Maybe there is, but boy, it doesn't do any favors for Cody. Is my
All right,
big thing.
let me stop you for a second. I gotta go back to something you said earlier. I'm writing down some notes about what you're saying. I gotta say, you said there was a level of surprise. Listen, Vlad, this has gotta be the understatement of the century. Level. All right, so we had to take a break for a moment. Vlad had an emergency at his house. But I was talking to you, Vlad, about the comment you made that there was a quote-unquote level of surprise at the stadium, which I would call quite an understatement, man, because level of surprise, dude, this is the most shocking thing. I don't think literally anybody who even said, I think Roman's going to win, was just being a mark for Roman, because I don't think anybody thought this was going to happen. Literally, that this was literally going to happen. And if they wanted to do literally the most shocking angle that they could do, it would have been this, because it was just unfathomable for all the reasons that you mentioned earlier. The storyline has gone long enough. They've been doing this thing with the bloodline for a couple years. Roman's been coming out with his long ass and ring walk entrances, and I think we threw around this possibility months or weeks ago that sure, Roman could win and they could just continue the way it is. But I couldn't freaking picture that in my head, because Roman coming out for a few more years and just holding the belt up with his long ring walk entrance. And so I think it's beyond shocking. I think you understated it a bit. And yeah, on Raw the very next day, what happened? Roman comes out again with the bloodline, with the belts, with the long-ass intro, and acknowledge me all over again, and we're going to continue. And that is disheartening, because we thought the show was going somewhere, getting better, Triple H is in charge, things are going to be happening, and so no.
Well,
they pulled the rug out from everyone, they screwed everyone over, all the fans. Honest, this is messed up, Vlad. This is really messed up.
Well, I mean, I think I don't really know the decision. I can't really say that it's bad or good at this point in time. I think right now I'm leaning towards bad just because of the reasons I mentioned. But maybe there was some other reason that they did this. I'm wondering what the sale with the UFC, that they merged with the UFC has anything to do with it. I wonder if that played a level of a thing where maybe somebody pushed for Roman to retain because of that. Maybe somebody wants him as champion when the merger is announced. I don't know. Anything is a possibility. You got to look maybe deeper into it. But, I mean, we don't really know why the decision was made to have. I mean, there could be a number of different things, but looking at it from just storytelling purposes, this seemed like the golden opportunity to kind of have a new champion, build new feuds, and stuff like that. And it did seem, I mean, as much as I am a huge Roman fan, I like both of these guys, don't get me wrong, but it did seem to be getting a little bit old of him retaining after like interference after interference in every single match for the last 2 years. I'm a huge fan of his. He's a great worker. I like the whole bloodline story. I think it's been the best angle they've done in years as a whole. You know, with Sami, the Usos, everybody's done their part well. But I think it was time to do something else. And I hope that they know what they're doing. But right now, yeah, I feel like there's some level of like, damn, like, man, I mean, what happened here? Like, why did they make this decision? I hope being a wrestling fan, I hope they know what they're doing. But just being a cynic is like, man, I think they screwed this up pretty royally, you know. But we have to wait and see. Unfortunately, we could only hope. But yeah, I feel you. And there was even the Roman fans that were like, you know, holding up their fingers, doing the whole, you know, we're the ones thing. They were shocked as well. They were like, whoa, like even like you said, even the biggest Roman marks didn't really think that he was going to retain. I mean, the whole match, even if the match was progressing. When they counted to 3 at the end, everybody there was like a moment of silence. Like there was like did that just happen? What? Everybody was pretty stunned, but you know, then there was a loud cheer. There was enough cheers too because you know it was a great match and there's still a huge amount of fans. But yeah, nobody knows what. There was a question like, yeah, what happens next to these characters? Like, where can you go from here? Like booking wise, where do you go? Storytelling wise. And it looks like Cody's going to be feuding, okay, now, you know, the Raw, Cody's going to be feuding with Lesnar, but what does Roman do? Like, I don't get it, you know.
Listen, Vlad,
whatever.
I'm going to stop you right there. You want to know what happened here? I'll tell you exactly what happened here. I know exactly.
You think you have an idea of why they decided to go with Roman at WrestleMania instead of Cody? You think it was political, probably?
Yes, you could say that, political. I will go so far as to say they never had any intention of putting the belt on Cody the entire time. And I think this is just Triple H trolling the AEW fans, trolling the WCW fans, the WCW guys, the way that, like, not that AEW is WC, but the way he would never put Sting over. He wouldn't put Sting over himself at WrestleMania. And
that's true.
Cody is he's an outsider. He just gave it to his own guy, and Roman's gonna be the guy, and that's the end of the story, man. And Cody, I guess he just accepted this because it was a WrestleMania main event. He's in the spotlight, but he's not gonna be champion. He is never going to be champion.
So you're saying, okay, so your prediction is that not only will he not win at any WrestleMania, he's not going to win at any pay-per-view over Roman?
No, Roman's their guy.
Okay.
Roman's their guy. He's the WWE guy. He's pure WWE. Well, and this was just.
But how long can he go on as the
I think they could do this. Yeah, I don't know, 5 more years.
3 years?
Yeah.
5 more years as just winning every match.
However long he yes. I mean, he could just keep cheating, I guess. Yeah, I mean, why not, dude? Why not?
Well,
I
mean,
if it's not Cody, then who? Who is going to beat him?
I think this is a great question. I don't know. I think I can't. I don't have the answers for you. I don't know. I can't tell you. But I think yes. I'm with you, but I don't know if it's to that extreme that like it was thought of in those terms that you just described. But maybe. I mean, who knows what the thinking is?
That's what it is, dude. They brought Cody in specifically to embarrass him. And also another aspect of it, I can say, other than Triple H not, booking it, is that Cody himself probably thinks this is a good idea, because I know to him the chase for the title is always more interesting than actually winning the title, which is kind of true, to be honest. Once you win the title, a lot of title runs, babyface title runs, fall flat. They're not that exciting once you win it. But still, classically in wrestling, you've got to give the babyface the win after the fans have bought them and invested in them. And at the end of the story, They should send the fans home happy, which they did on night one, but not for when it really mattered on night two with Cody
Do,
Rhodes.
do you think because so many people thought that Cody was going to win that they decided to not make it as predictable? Do you think that was the thinking at all, or do you think it was still more what you said?
I
What
mean,
do you
yeah,
think?
that's a positive. They definitely worked everyone. Everyone was shocked that everyone thought they knew what was going to happen. We weren't so even happy with this storyline. It wasn't even that great. It was just Cody's. I'm going to try to win the title. Classic, okay, wrestling.
Right.
It wasn't even that
Yeah, it was a
good.
classic wrestling story.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the stuff that they did promo wise was pretty
No, yeah,
good.
it was
They didn't have
good, but it wasn't like a
yeah
like a exciting angle. Like they weren't like going to each
no
other's houses and kidnapping their wives or anything. It was just a match, and Cody was gonna try to
yeah
win it. And we were like, all
right
right, if that's what it is, fine, good. At least somebody beats Roman, and this is gonna work out. But they didn't even do that then. So this was all a freaking waste of time. And um, yeah. So I cannot explain to you the level of hurt that I felt the next day once I realized what happened. Once I realized that
so
us.
in the moment you didn't realize because you were kind of drunk or whatever, right? But now once you came
No,
out of
I
that
realized it the moment it happened that Triple H worked us. I can't believe I didn't see it coming. I can't believe I didn't see. I can't believe in what part of my mind thought that this guy would let Cody Rhodes go over and become the undisputed champion. I am so stupid. I am so stupid. So yeah, that's my thought now, and I get it now. I get it now. And you saw it at the end of at the beginning of the next episode on Raw, when Triple H came out. The Mark should have been booing him basically. First of all, for booking like shit. Sorry to curse, but then he goes once Roman Reigns is coming to the ring and he gives him a big hug. What the heck do you think that means? No duh, dude. No duh. So if you don't agree with me, okay, but that's my 2 cents, man. I think he's a Roman.
hey
He's a Roman guy. Roman is pure WWE. He will never leave. And this was just all a big troll to AEW fans, which I gotta say I am one. And I always thought this storyline was incredible that Cody is gonna go and win the title. What? Where the heck did this come from? But ultimately, it wasn't that. It was just to screw with the AEW fans and screw them over. Because
well I'm
everyone wanted Cody to
well,
win. He's the best worker. He deserves it. If anyone deserves it, it's Cody. But they're not gonna give it to him. And maybe I'll shut
yeah
my
well
mouth. Maybe a few months from now at SummerSlam they'll do it like they did for Luger. But I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
Well, make a correction, they never did it. Luger never won the title, but but that's not the that's not the point. But no, what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
I should cut that out. I thought Luger won the title. Well then
No, no.
well then he's gonna
But,
be just like Luger. Then he's not gonna win the title, man. He's
well,
not
then
gonna win the title. I mean, if
that's
anything,
probably
maybe
more.
at the very end of his career, like it'll be the last thing and he retires. Because I know he likes this. I think Cody gets excited for these storylines where, I'm gonna keep pushing to win that title, if it's the last thing I do. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen all the way in the end of his career. But
Well, I don't know either, but I hope I'm wrong in the sense that it was done for the reason that you said. I think I'm hopeful that they just have something in their mind of where they want to go, or it's more of what I mentioned as far as maybe because of this merger, they want Roman to have the title and be their like representative as the champion for now, and maybe that played a role into it. I don't know. I'm just guessing. We all don't know why the decision was made. I mean, I think you have your theories. I have mine, and let's just see how it plays out. But yeah, very, very interesting, to put it mildly, turn of events because we were all, I'm sitting there thinking at the match like, who can he feud with? Cody, I'm talking about after he wins the title. I'm starting to think like Gunther. Maybe he'll feud with Solo. Maybe he'll have another match with Roman. All these different things as a champion. But and then like at the end of it, you're like, huh? Did that just happen? My goodness. But anyways,
well,
if you want to, if you want to continue with that topic, or we could move on to the rest of WrestleMania, I'll leave it up to you.
All right, well let's move along. Let's just move along. But before we move on to the rest of WrestleMania, I just want to say that Cody losing and how terrible it made me feel reminds me of all the times in my life that I've been flat broke and had to borrow money from my friends. And that's just like the most miserable feeling in the world, waiting to get money to pay back your friends. But when I do get that money back, I pay them back with Zelle. This portion of the program is being brought to you by Zelle. Do you owe money to a friend or family member? Don't be a lowlife. Pay them back, or they might never lend you money ever again. And there could very well come one day when you're flat ass broke and you gotta go around with your tail tucked between your legs and say, let me borrow some money. Hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us. But as soon as you get that money back, don't just run straight to the liquor store. Do the right thing. Pay them back with Zelle. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back after this. All right, and we're back. Wait, hold on, Vlad. Before I start the show, you wanna sit like that? Your belly's a little out and everything.
My belly, huh?
I guess. Okay. However you feel comfortable.
What about now? Is that better?
Yeah, it looks a little better. Sure. All right then.
Okay.
And we're back with the show, with the Quantum Flux Wrestling Podcast. We're here talking about WrestleMania. We just got done talking about the Cody Roman match from night 2, but we have the rest of the show to talk about. We're not going to go into major detail about everything that happened. We'll just talk, because there was too much of it. There was a lot of matches. Like we said earlier, 2 nights was a little much. They could have cut this down to 1 night. But you were at my place on the first night, night 1. You won the board. I'll text this to you later. I'll put it up on. I can't really see it right there. But yeah, you won the prediction board for the night. You had 6 right out of 7. I only got 3, and our friend Robert was here with us. He got 4. So, but you were spot on with your guesses. And so do you think you liked the experience better in person on night 2 or at home? Before you talk about which night you liked better, like as a wrestling show, do you think the experience was better in person over there, or would you rather just sit at home and chill, watch it on a big TV?
I think it's
for
as far
you
as experiencing it. Yeah. As far as just the experience of being at WrestleMania, I think you should do it like once. But to be honest, I'd probably prefer to just watch it at home. I mean, it was cool. It was cool being there, like seeing some of those people live, and like some of them like were really pretty close. Like we were really close to that ramp, and we saw like all the wrestlers pretty much go back in the backstage after the matches were over. So it was kind of cool. That was kind of a cool experience to see that. But yeah, if you just want to enjoy a show, probably just be more chill, and not around so many people, and like you just more comfortable sitting in your own seat or whatever. Yeah, obviously it's going to be easier to watch it at home. I mean, I think that goes without saying.
All right, and then okay, just your overall sense of which was the stronger night of wrestling, night 1 or night 2?
I think both were pretty good. I think overall, I have to say I was more interested in the matches in night 1, outside of the Cody and Roman, which I think felt more like it was night 2 felt more like it was just the lead into just that one match, while night 1 just had more kind of interesting matches throughout I kind of wanted to see the result of who would win and things like that. But both shows did well, and both shows had some pretty stellar matches overall, but I probably would lean towards night 1 just being more interesting as far as the matches presented, like the feuds that I care about more.
Yeah, me too. I personally was impressed with night 1. There were a couple storylines that I thought came to a head, like the Rhea and Dominik one. I'm a big fan of that storyline. I thought it was I thought it was good wrestling. It was good wrestling. I mean,
Yeah.
just the basic premise was incredible. Was like the way Dominik was acting towards his family. It was just like, what the, like, who would act like this? You know, it was insane if you just really like took it literally and for what it was. So that it kind of blew my, that one. I liked that one a lot. I think they had a decent match. I called it a 5-star match when I was with you, more because of the whole storyline and the angle and everything coming together. I thought it worked. I thought it worked well and it was fun. I had an incredible time with it. But I don't think you thought it was a 5-star match per se. But and then
Yeah, no, but I thought it. Yeah, go ahead. No,
no,
I'll
no.
let you go.
I was, and in addition to that one, the Rhea and Charlotte was very strong, and
Oof.
then the tag title match was also an important match, and so those are the three things from night one that I'll highlight. We can start with Ray and Dominik. Any thoughts on that one?
I mean, yeah, I have to agree that I think the feud itself was pretty good. I think Dominik really deserves a lot of credit for becoming a really good heel. I mean, how else can you put it? Like within a year, because remember, like just last year, right? He was tagging with his, and he was a total
Yeah, it was
babyface
a
tagging with his dad.
Goody Two Shoes nice boy. You know that was.
Yeah, just last WrestleMania, I think, right? So this WrestleMania, he's fighting his dad in this feud that's been building,
And coming
he's
in
done a
from
great
jail.
job. Yeah, I mean the whole thing was just great. The fact that and then coming in the police car, right? So I mean, it was a great addition, and everything else was a great addition. The whole his mom slapping him and then throwing water at his sister,
Ugh,
and it
insane.
was great.
Insane. I was tripping
It
out,
was a,
man. I couldn't believe, if
it
I
was
did this to my mom or my sister, dude, it would be like a huge
it
scandal.
would be
Huge
World
scandal.
War III, right?
Oh man, I can't even imagine. I feel like the universe would
Yeah.
blow up or something. It's just
But I
not.
mean, I give actually Dominik a lot of credit because he did great heel work, and I think right now, believe it or not, he is one of the best heels in wrestling. Believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying
I
this, but
think it was a major storyline. It was one of the main event storylines of WrestleMania this year, and
I mean, and I don't think he loses anything from losing the match. I think he's still going to be a heel, and I think the result was perfect. I think it's fine. I have no problem with that, and it was just good stuff. I enjoyed it. I
yeah,
enjoyed
but
the feud,
Bad
and,
Bunny,
and
dude,
I thought
Bad Bunny.
well,
Coming out of no,
I
I
thought
was
that was
like,
fine.
what the hell, Bad Bunny? Get out of here, bro. But yeah, Bad Bunny helped Ray. So if
Well, I
I,
think, but yes, but I think that's also going to be a future thing that's setting up a future pay-per-view match as well. So
oh,
that
you
makes,
think
I
Dominik is
think,
gonna fight Bad Bunny? Good damn.
I
That would be,
think they'll be maybe. I think there'll be like a tag match, maybe, or
uh,
maybe like Ray and Bad Bunny versus Dominik and what's the God, not Finn,
Damian
but
Priest.
Priest,
Yeah, yeah.
Damian Priest. Yeah, so I think that's maybe some sort of tag
Interesting.
match at the because Backlash is in Puerto Rico, right? So that's like his, and he's the host, whatever. So I'm sure he's going to appear. I'm sure they'll have a
Interesting.
match. I mean, I'm assuming it'll be a tag match, but we'll see.
Yeah, so that was a trip to me. I actually, unlike you, I actually listened to reggaeton, and I know a lot of his music. So it was like,
Well,
what?
I know. I mean, at least I know Bad Bunny, but I don't. Yeah, I can't say I listen to his music, but I just feel a little bit of him. But yes, I'm perfectly. I think it was perfectly
Yeah,
done
yeah. No, he
and
tried to
everything like that.
cheat like Eddie would have done, and he just got
Yeah.
happened to get thwarted. I don't think anyone was expecting Bad Bunny to go out there and interfere in the WWE match. But okay,
No.
if anyone wants to send their thanks to Bad Bunny for what he did for Ray, because he did the right thing, right? Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you, Bad Bunny, for what you did for Ray. If I ever saw him like on the
Hey,
street, I would. That's what I would tell him. Gracias,
hey, man.
pa que lo hiciste para Ray. But
Yeah, but I don't know what you just said, but I'll say, I'll send him a Christmas card if that's what he wants.
yeah,
With, you know,
and then
thanking him for what he did for Ray.
so Rhea and Charlotte also was so good. I thought
Just,
so good.
I mean, just great work. Yeah, they had a match. I mean, they just had an incredible match. These are probably the two best women workers in the world.
I mean,
I
Bianca's
think
pretty damn good too, but this was just a
she's
perfect match.
great. Yeah.
Perfect match.
Well, I
They
mean,
all the
yeah.
go ahead. No.
I was just gonna say that I knew that it would be. I knew that it would be. I knew that these, I'm not really surprised. I just knew that it would be good, but I think it was actually even better than I thought it was going to be. That's the only thing. Like, they did such great work, and they pretty much out wrestled most of the guys out there. I think they just put on a wrestling clinic. It was a clinic. It was a literal clinic out
Yeah,
there.
and they
Just of
both
how
looked
work.
amazing, and
Yeah,
the work was really good. It was as
yeah,
top notch as wrestling can get. So I'll give that one
yes,
praise, very much
yeah,
praise.
absolutely. And again, the result was correct. It's Rhea's time. She should be the champion, and they should let her run with it. So in this case, again, I have no problem with either of the booking. I think it is her time to shine. I mean, Charlotte's had it for many times before, and she's a great champion, and she's a great character that they have there. Of course, I think she should be a heel. She's better equipped for it. She's not a natural face. She just doesn't have the personality for it, unfortunately. So I think
I don't
they
know.
might do some.
I think it could work maybe like Stone Cold type of pseudo heel. Um,
Yeah, I don't think the fans would buy it, and I don't think they're buying it now. I think as most of the fans were kind of cheering for Rhea as the match was going on. So,
wait,
and she's
wait.
supposed to be
You
the heel,
said
right?
you said Charlotte should be a heel.
Yeah, Charlotte should be
Oh,
heel.
okay, my
Charlotte should be
bad.
heel. But
Sorry, I was looking at I got distracted. All right, yeah, no,
no,
for
no,
that
no,
you're right. Charlotte should be a heel. Okay, sorry about that.
yeah,
I thought you were talking about Rhea.
yeah.
All right.
No, Rhea could be. I don't know. They could go either way with Rhea. I wouldn't be surprised, but she definitely seems to be like she could be a face. But I kind of like her as a heel. I don't know. I don't know. That one's a tough
I
one.
think it could go either way. I think they could go either way
Yeah,
with her.
that one could go either way. Yeah, I agree.
And then the tag title match was the main event of night one with the
Yeah,
the Usos and Sami and KO, which went as expected. That Sami
yeah.
and KO went over. I thought the match was a little ridiculous and long. Personally, I thought it was AEW Fight Forever status. You disagreed with me because
Well, I only in the sense I don't completely disagree with you. I think there it was a great it was a good match. I wouldn't say it's great, but they did good work. The crowd was crazy into it, so I'll say that much for it. People were invested into this angle, the story, this match. There were there were some issues. I think
if you're gonna
there needs
criticize
to be.
AEW for all their false finishes and the Young Bucks kicking out, 10 times out of finishers, then why would you defend this? Same thing to me. I don't know. Sells out the
Uh,
business, doesn't it? These guys, how are these guys taking all this damage and not going down? I don't know.
no, there's I no. I'm saying there is criticism there for this. There can be some criticism for this match. I think um, Cornette mentioned that this is kind of like the modern style of wrestling. I don't think it's that. I don't. I think this is. I think this is more. I kind of leaning towards indie wrestling. So it's not so much. This is modern wrestling. Yes, there's spots that I don't like in this match. Like so many super kicks. Why was that necessary? Like who called for that? Like I mean, kicking out of like 100 super kicks. Like Shawn Michaels used to win with one super kick, right? So I mean, what does that say, right? So um,
Yeah, super kick
um,
party.
super kick party. I know, right? So that was one problem. The other problem I have is like when it's a tag match and the other guys are just chilling in the corner, waiting to do their move, waiting for their opportunity to get back in the ring. Like they take a hit and then they're just there for like 10 minutes. Like I don't understand that. That's a modern thing. That if you look at tag team wrestling historically, like all the good tag teams, that was never done before. Like that's an indie modern thing, and there was some emphasis. Not emphasis. That's not the word. That's not the right word. There was some indie wrestling in this match that you could criticize for sure. The only difference is this was in front of 75, 80,000 people. It drew money. People cared, and it mattered. Unlike when the Young Bucks do it against the Lucha Brothers in front of 3,000 people or 2,000 people, and 500,000 people are watching this show. It's different. This is a big time
Yeah,
event, and
I guess you
that's the
could
only difference I
say.
would say.
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
will agree in that sense that since it was such an important match, I guess you could say, hey, they dig down really deep to kick out and win the match. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm not gonna give that much that one too much more thought. It is what it is. At least on.
Yeah, it is what it is. We can criticize. I just want to say we can criticize, but I don't want to say that it's completely like AW because I've seen these guys work before, and it's not always like that. But I think that with Steen and Sammy's background, there is some of that indie wrestling that they have in their blood that you can't really shake off. And this was, I think, some of these spots were not that great and not really what should be in a professional company at a main event at WrestleMania. But overall, people were invested. People cared. The crowd went ape shit. So move on, and let's hope that they do better next time if they have another match or if there's more feuds with them.
You're right. It's fine. It was the one time. Okay, they don't do this every week on SmackDown. It was WrestleMania, so there were more false finishes. Okay, I'm not gonna kill him on that. I'll just say that's the thought I had. But okay.
Yes, and I agree. And I agree with you.
All right. Well, listen. Let's take one last break, and we'll talk about night 2. All right, and we're back. We discussed WrestleMania Night 1. We discussed the Cody stuff, the situation, first thing on the show today. So all we have left to discuss is Night 2. I'll just quickly say what stood out to me before we see what Vlad thought. I mean, okay, so Asuka and Bianca, I thought was really good. Maybe really not as good as the first night's women's title match, but I'll say it's still top notch. Nothing bad to say about that.
Top notch, nothing.
Edge and Finn, I thought was all right for what it was. Hardcore match, blood feud. Okay, they did what they could do, and then there was the main event. So, anything stood out to you from night 2 that you could remember that pops out to your mind?
Yeah, I'll just say a couple things.
If you want to expand on either of those 2 matches, also the Asuka Bianca and Edge Finn Balor match.
Yeah, I'll get to that. I just want to say that it was cool seeing Brock Lesnar live. I think it was just a cool experience. I mean, just the presence, the reaction to him. He always gets a pop, no matter what situation he's in, even though he was just fighting almost. And, it was not really thought of as a match that was going to be any good, but it did okay for what it was, and he ended up F5ing him, which got a really loud pop, there, pretty crazy pop, I would say. So it was cool seeing him. And as far as the matches themselves, I think Asuka and Bianca, I think they did great. I think yes, maybe it was just a little bit. They were just a little bit like maybe not as good. I don't want to say not as good, but just if I had to rate the matches, I'd just say like, okay, which one I liked more. I would probably say I'd lean towards Charlotte and Rhea, but man, both women's matches were great, and I had no expectations for Bianca and Asuka.
I thought it'd be good.
I didn't really pay attention to the feud. I didn't think there was anything good about it, and I just didn't know what to expect from the match. I thought it was great. I thought everything was just pretty great about it. I don't even know how else to say it. The work was really, really, tight, and everything just worked really well. And they had a great finish, and again, the right person won. Finn and Edge, I thought was actually kind of disappointing, to be honest. In a sense, I didn't think I think something must have happened when. I think Finn got busted open hard way when he threw the ladder at him. That's what it seemed like. He was bleeding pretty profoundly. I think that might have ended the match a little bit earlier than it was supposed to. They had to staple his head shut right there and then, so he could continue. But it didn't seem like maybe he even had a concussion for all we know. I mean, who knows? So I think it ended up worse than it was supposed to be. I think they were supposed to have a longer match, I think. But I don't really have a problem with it, but I kind of wish it was the close of the feud. I hope it doesn't continue anymore. Like, I hope they move on from it. I think we've got the point. Edge and Edge and the Judgment Day that should come to an end. But it was, it still did good work, all things considered. It was still kind of messy and a little bit gory. Took some spots. There was some crazy moments, but a little disappointed that they couldn't do more. But sometimes things happen in matches, and there's only so much you can.
Yeah, it was strange that they
you can
had
always
to.
predict.
They had to let like
Can't
doctors into the Hell in the Cell, so that was a little odd. I was like, okay, like, huh, but
Yeah, some things you can't predict and you can't call for. And of course, since we already talked about the main event, the other hilarious thing is Shane just blowing his quad just like his dad.
oh god,
You could, I can't. I mean, when we were there, we were all like, "Huh? Did that just happen?"
yeah. And then they came up with a storyline like in 1 second. Like I was like, how the heck did they even do that? Unless the plan at the end was for Snoop Dogg to punch him anyway. But
Maybe, but I'm not sure. Like maybe Snoop was supposed to be used anyways, but like I definitely don't think. Definitely for sure, Shane was supposed to beat him, and then like maybe they were supposed to like do something else with Snoop as well. I don't know, but yeah, that's pretty hilarious.
it's hilarious in a bad way that he got hurt so bad. Like I feel bad for him, but still,
I feel bad for him. Yeah,
it was
that
it ruined the show. Honestly, I mean, but the whole thing they were doing with the Miz on the first night and the second night was I don't know, so extra. It was like an extra storyline.
Yeah.
We
It
didn't
seemed
really
like
need.
it was filler. They were trying to fill some time, and I know I don't like that type of stuff. I don't like the Miz at all. I don't think he should be there. I mean, I don't think he should
I
be at
don't know about
WrestleMania. I don't
that.
think. Well,
I
I
don't know
don't.
if
I
I'll
don't
say
care.
about that. I mean, I don't think he's useless, but I don't think they needed to have this on this show personally. But
Well, he could host, but he definitely didn't have to be involved in all these different things, and he's constantly made to look like a fool. And I mean, I understand that's his role now, but that's kind of, we get it. But like, we get it. Can we move on from the
yeah,
Miz
I know.
instead?
They just wanted a cheap pop of beating the Miz up. Okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, the Shane thing was,
it's the comeuppance
we
for
all
all
were
the.
like,
Go ahead, Vlad. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
sorry.
I'm being rude.
No, I'm sorry. But I was just gonna say that yeah, the Shane thing just caused a ruckus, and it got a pop when he first when the music came on. The money. Everybody was going crazy.
Yeah.
But then like when he went down, there was like, what? Is that part of it? Nobody could like they thought it was part of the angle, or part of the story, or part of whatever. It was like, is that supposed to be going on? Like, what happened here?
Yeah. What
But
the
no,
heck?
he literally
What the heck?
literally blew out his quad just like his dad did. At that well, his dad blew out both his quads at that Royal Rumble, like whatever it was. But yeah.
All right. Well, since I got a few minutes before this memory card gets full, I guess we could, if you want to, we could go back and discuss the details of the main event a little more, since we just kind of talked about the decision for Roman to go over, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of interference, which
Sure.
makes for excitement, but it tends to be a thing now with Roman. Every single match there's interference. Okay, that's how he got through the Drew McIntyre match. He got through the Sami Zayn match. So it looks like he can't beat any of these people without his entire family. And
Yeah.
so Sami and KO came out to help, and they took care of the Usos. But I did have the thought. I don't know if I ever told you this, but in my head I did think that this was a little bit of a disadvantage, because there was 4 guys on the Bloodline side and 3 with Cody, Sami, and KO. So there was always one extra, and that's what ended up happening. That Solo came in when Paul Heyman distracted the referee and caused Cody to lose the match. So the interference always makes for excitement in wrestling. Okay, I will agree with that. The match itself was hot. It was hot.
Yes.
It was exciting. Everyone thought this could
Very
be the
exciting.
moment that it could happen. But talk about how it felt during that moment when all the interference started, and just how insane the crowd was for everything that was happening.
Oh, I mean, the crowd was going crazy for every move, every time there was a finisher put on somebody. The crowd was into it. I mean, they had them at the palm of their hand at that point. It was a great match. I mean, they did everything right. Everything was almost perfect. I mean, the only thing, like I said, you could really question is just the finish and what will come of that. But you can't really fault the wrestlers as far as what they did and the work that they did and everything like that.
Cody
It
was great.
Well done.
Cody was superb.
Cody was great. Yeah, Cody was great. Roman was great. Everybody did their role perfectly. I don't I can't say anything bad at all about the match. I can't say anything. The crowd was so invested. Everybody was going ape shit during every possibility, every false finish, every time it looked like it could be over, and it was. There's just not much left to say. It was pretty much a perfect match. It was a perfect match that will probably, though, the only thing you can criticize is the finish, and we don't know where that's going and where that stands.
Yeah, so you wanna take a wait and see approach, huh? To see if they'll correct this in the future. Okay, I don't know.
Well, yeah. I don't know if it's as bad as as you think it's going to be, or it is. Do you think this is? Well, if you could compare it with, like, is this as bad as Starrcade '97, or is this on that
This is
level,
worse
or
because
not?
I don't think they're even gonna give Cody the title in the next few months. I mean, because they gave Sting the title 2 months later
Yeah,
at Super Brawl, so
that's
at
right.
least they tried. They figured out, hey, we did the wrong thing. Let's fit. Now this is not what that is. I don't like I said before. I'm pretty sure Roman's gonna keep the title for many years, and he's just gonna be the man. But we'll shift because tomorrow night we got AEW Dynamite, and we might continue to do our little reviews of the little indie darling show over on TBS. But this makes
Hmm.
me think about whether MJF should leave now because I don't think he is gonna enjoy getting jacked around like this by Triple H and the booking crew if they're they're not gonna put him in the loop for who's gonna go over, and in the end they're just gonna make him lose. He's gonna be so pissed he might not even show up to WrestleMania.
Well, I don't know, bro. I think that's I think he should go, and I think Cody is also was right to go, and I think right now there's some hurt feelings on a lot of the AEW fans and Cody fans, but I think we have to wait and see how it all plays out. I still think he should go because AEW is still the minor leagues, and
You think he should
you
go
want
even if he's just gonna job to Roman at WrestleMania? It would be a better
to.
storyline for him.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen a year from now or when it's. We don't know who he's going to be. We can't make those type of predictions as far as who's going to be facing Roman. And he's going to have to job to Roman. We don't even know where they're going to put
I
MJF. But
know.
he should try his luck in WWE because AW is not going to really go anywhere. It is where it is, and yeah, he could be the champion there, but it's not. It's still the minor leagues. It's like playing AAA baseball. You want to play for the show. You want to go to the show. You want to play for the major leagues. You want to play for the New York Yankees and the LA Dodgers or whatever. You don't want to play in Sacramento, whatever.
Yeah, I mean I agree with that, man. But this is just I don't know. I don't know how to look at this. I still don't know. I'm still confused, and I'm still yeah, like you said.
I think
We all hope that in the end they'll write the storyline and give Cody what he deserves, really, and what we deserve for having to sit through all of this fucking boring garbage. So yeah, I mean, it would be nice if we could see Cody Rhodes hold the belt up, please. For all the
yeah.
hours I sit through to watch this stuff, like that's all I really want at this point. And
Well, I hear you.
will they give it to us ever? I don't know. I think no, but you think they'll give Cody the title someday?
I think yes. I just worry that it's going to be too late because I worry that this was the opportunity to do it. That's my only concern. But um, I also think it's garbage what was going on before. I've actually said it's the best work they've done, but my only problem is it should have come to an end at this WrestleMania. Is my feeling, and I think it was a lot of people's feelings. And now we don't know where they're going and how they can because it's I don't know. It just
Well,
doesn't seem like it was the right move.
I didn't mean it to be like garbage like that. Like yeah, for wrestling, these guys are really good. Cody's really good. Roman's really good. But I just meant in general, WWE Raw and SmackDown have been
Yes,
boring
yes,
shows, man. Like that's why we wanted an
yeah.
alternative. That's why we wanted someone like AEW to pop up because it's so slow and we're sitting through hours of programming of stuff there's not really much content here, okay? It's like kind of they're running through the same thing again every week, and we're like waiting for WrestleMania. We're like, all right, fine. If you're gonna give it to us at WrestleMania, then okay, give it to us at WrestleMania. We're waiting for it, and then nothing. We got nothing.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was like hanging out with a girl thinking you're gonna get lucky at the end of the night, and she promised you it all day long, and then in the end, no, sorry, I'm going home.
Yeah. Maybe next year. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I hear you. I hear your criticisms. I've heard it throughout the internet community. I know there's some criticism.
I haven't even listened to anything yet, though. I haven't even listened to Cornette yet. I've been so freaking down on this thing. I guess we're gonna have to gear up and start going again, though. I mean, it's just gonna continue. So let's see what happens. Listen, man.
I think that's the only thing we could do.
Unless you got
let's see what happens next.
Unless you got anything else to say about WrestleMania or your thoughts about what's coming up or what you saw, I think we've pretty much discussed everything. What do you think?
I think we got all the high points, all the important elements. Everything else was blah or whatever. So I think we got through everything that we needed to discuss for sure.
All right. Well, let's call it a day, man. Let's call it a day. We'll talk maybe later on this week or whenever we get a chance to talk about AEW Dynamite tomorrow. See what these guys can come up with for us. But thanks for your time, Vlad. Thanks for listening to my story. Thanks for being with me here at WrestleMania on night one. I had a good time, man, and hopefully we'll hang out more in the future. Go Lakers.
Yes, that needs to be said. We need all the help we can get.
Hey, did they win tonight?
Yes. Oh, you didn't even pay attention to that.
I missed it. Oh, man, this is crazy. All right, well, we'll see what happens there, too. All right, Vlad, have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man, take care.